Well, here we are for part two. As I stated earlier in my little ditty, um, this was to be continued at 2 o'clock. And so here I am. I don't know who's going to tune in, and it's really not important. It's more important that I speak this message because it's been, I won't say weighing on my heart, but it's been kind of toying with me on the emotional realm for a bit now, a couple of days, anyways. And I just think it's important that I share this because, when those things are happening, it's usually a message for somebody who needs to hear it, and not important for me to know who it is, but more important that I just speak that truth. So, for those of you who may tune in, I'm not going to sit here and wait for an audience to build on Facebook. I want to be able to share the information with whoever logs in here and with whoever really kind of wants to take part in this. And it might take me a little bit to ramble through some of this to get to the point that I want to make, but I believe it's important and it needs to be heard because if you're catching this, if you're on here right now, or if you catch the replay on this, just let me know that you're catching the replay. Let me know where you got this from, like where you are, where you live, where you're calling in from. And if anybody does tune in live and you're posting comments and stuff, I'm not going to be responding to them simply because I want to be able to work through this and point. So for anybody who does end up watching this and wonders what the comment was at the beginning about this being part two, the first live that I did earlier today was a little ditty from Veggie Tales, and it goes like this. Oh, my name is Captain Vegetable, with my carrots and my celery. And it may sound like funny, and it may sound... Here we go. I don't know if we're back. I believe we are. Sorry about that. I don't know. We've been having just intermittent problems with the internet here since Hydro turned our power off and did some stuff. I don't know if it glitched my router or whatever. Anyways, the important thing is I'm back. And, was it uncomfortable for me to sing that? Absolutely. But more important to me that I step into that discomfort and share it, because here's the message I want to share with you on that front. My awesome wife has been singing that little song to our youngest grandson, Lincoln, and has been for, since he's born. She just loves that kind of thing, and she speaks that positivity into his life. And what I want people to understand is that in her doing that, and that little guy sitting in his chair, beating his foot to the beat, like moving it up and down, he's taking in the truth that she's singing to him. And in his little heart, that's an emotional, real, and true place for him. There's not a doubt in his little heart or in his mind yet that he can't be Captain Vegetable or Captain whoever the frig he wants to be. He can do anything and be anything he wants to be, because that's the emotional truth he lives with right now. And if you look at my post like a couple of days ago, just scroll through my timeline and you'll find the little post where a little kid is all heart, and as we grow older, the heart diminishes and the brain grows. And that's what I want to caution people about. Because if you're tuning in here, you're likely involved in network marketing or affiliate marketing, or you've got an e-commerce store, or you're into personal development of some sort, and your desire is really to be able to speak truth and honesty into other people. But here's the difficult thing. As adults, because our heart's been diminished and our head has been swollen, we're more concerned about being intellectually accurate than we are emotionally valid. Unfortunately, all of the resilience and all of the fight in us lies in the emotional front, and it's what gets squelched early on. So as enlightened people, it's our responsibility to protect the little hearts and the little minds of the people who are coming up in this world, who need to know that they can be and do anything they want to be. And I know we hear this message a lot and we want to speak those words, but we need to speak them from a place of emotional honesty. Because many of you know I'm a certified grief and loss specialist. And yes, grief is attached to when someone we love dies. But there's a much more subtle yet deeper rooted set of emotions that surface with the intangible losses. And those losses are things like our self-respect, things like our dignity, things like trust, things like our feeling of safety. And, you know, the 6 myths that the world conditions us with when it comes to grieving and emotions that surface on that front just don't serve us. Although they may be intellectually accurate, when I read that statement in the Grief Recovery Handbook, it really kind of began to shift things for me, because although they're intellectually accurate, they leave us completely void emotionally. And here's the thing, many people are just completely unaware that there's an ability to recover from loss, from just the pain that's caused by loss, whether it be the death of a loved one, whether it be a divorce, the end of a relationship because of disputes, just things, you know, my passion for helping who are referred to as the silent sufferers, the people who are out there who find themselves in precarious situations right now in the latter years of their lives, not because they haven't been successful, because they've been incredibly successful, and in most instances, very much like myself, had an ability to turn on a money tap. And all of a sudden, when you don't have that ability anymore, you begin to realize that a lot of the decisions that you've made have left you in very, very trying situations, because we're older. We don't know how much runway we have left. So it's important that we plug in and we begin to understand that on an emotional level, we can recover from the loss, from that feeling of not feeling safe, of having lost our self-respect. But in order to be able to do that, in order to be able to recover, we need to be doing it from an emotionally sound and honest place, because we can't lie our way through this. And what really creates those feelings, what really creates those emotions, are just, we're left incomplete when a relationship ends. And, you know, I shared with a good friend of mine this morning that there are 6 words that really kind of surface, and different, better, more, hopes, dreams, and expectations. And when you look at those words in relationship to loss, we're incomplete on so many fronts. And in order to be able to work through that pain, hold on to the memories, cherish the people who have gone before us, that sometimes have us just locked into these incredible pits of sorrow and pain, because we're not speaking our emotional truth. We're not getting in touch with that. And we're not, because we haven't been equipped by the world. And the Institute, the Grief Recovery Institute's mission is to really carry this message to as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time. And a couple of years back, I really began to study vulnerability, and that's a place of discomfort for so many people, because we bought into the fact that being vulnerable is showing weakness, and showing weakness is not a good thing. And nothing could be further from the truth, because when you do share from a place of vulnerability, what you're really doing is creating a plateau for trust, and you're creating space for people to be able to take their masks off and connect with you for the first time, for some of these people ever. And that's a rarity. You know, I've been an empath all my life. If you want to find out where that really began to take root in my life in a deep way, you can go to the link that I've posted in here to the dvlachance.com site. Read my bio. And if that relates to you, or if it speaks a message to you because you've heard something in conversation from somebody else, and you think they need to read my bio, that there may be something I can equip them with in the way of truth, just provide them, put them on a path to recovery from some of the things that are holding them back. It's only going to come from our willingness to be emotionally well. And so, getting back to my wife singing that song into Lincoln's life, there's not a doubt in his mind that he can't be all of those things, that he can't do everything. And it's our responsibility as enlightened people to make sure that nobody just robs him intellectually by telling him that no, he can't. Because think back to when you were a kid, when nothing hindered you, when you could have been anything you wanted to be, and the world began to share with you that no, you couldn't, that didn't make sense, that's not the way things were. We buy into those things instead, and we begin to lose hope, and we begin to put our dreams away, and we stop, and we begin to live these lives of just mediocrity. We just live mediocre existences at best, and we don't have to do that. So again, getting back to, if you're in here, and if this speaks to you in any way, share this with your friends. Share my site with them, because there really is a path to recovery. I was left so void, 32 years of recovery work under my belt from alcohol and drug addiction, and yet was so incomplete on so many fronts. But when I began to study through the Institute and decided to become certified, I had to, like as a grief and loss specialist, I had to actually go through the process myself. And what an eye-opener. More importantly, what a heart-opener. One of the phrases that they use is that we be hearts with ears, and that we don't analyze, we don't criticize, and we don't judge when people want to share things, because that's been done by too many for too long. So again, like if you're on here, you're a network marketer, you're an affiliate marketer, you have a story to tell and you don't know how to do it, it's likely because you're not tapped into your emotional truth. I want you to know that there are just tons of tools available for you, and there is a path to recovery. We can help you walk through that. If not me, connect, tell your story, and I can maybe help you connect to the right set of skills that will resonate with you, the people that will resonate with you. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know I'm not going to be the answer for everybody. But if I don't let them know that I'm willing to ask the questions, they're never going to know. And so, again, Captain Vegetable is who started all of this. And it was my wife's willingness to sing that little song into our grandson's life. Yep, he can be anything he wants to be. And we're going to make sure that that's the emotional truth he stands on and steps into. We're going to protect him from all the do-gooders who want to share all the maybe intellectually accurate information, but completely void, that just is not going to equip him to develop the resilience to move through the fodder that the world so wants us to buy into. Have a great day, folks, unless you have other plans.